What's up, everybody? Hola 93 in the place to be. Welcome to the Wrestling Corner, episode 16 of season 5. I know that it's been, well, not necessarily been 2 weeks, but it's been 2 weeks in a row that the corner has either not aired on Monday um, at all, or has not aired for the week, or has not aired on Monday at all. Um, Hold up, stop the that. But I thought, even though didn't do it on Monday, still thought about getting a corner in for this week, and that's what I'm here to do. And quite possibly, the corner is basically the routine. I think if the corner is not on Monday, then you should probably check on Tuesday. Or probably maybe Wednesday, since NXT is on. And I was thinking about maybe on Tuesday because I'll do it while Impact is on, and I think that's a good segue into one of the topics for this corner, and that's my current status with TNA. 2 weeks ago, I finally watched. I know I didn't even watch. Um, I kind of skimmed through an Impact episode, and it was the episode which I got spoiled on. Well, actually, I didn't really get spoiled. I actually volunteered to get spoiled on, which was Matt Hardy's heel turn, basically the double turn, turning Matt Hardy heel and turning EC3 heel. I mean, turning EC3 face. In that episode. And I skimmed through it, only watched a couple bits and pieces. Only thing I watched full was Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong for the Knockouts title. And I'm still like, okay, Kong is part of the dollhouse. It just seems so odd. And then I watched Kurt Angle, because he's doing like this retirement tour, and he was challenged by Bobby Lashley. And then I watched the main event. I wanted to see for myself, how did this heel turn play out for Matt, or this double turn play out, this last man standing match. And no, watched the match. Wasn't that bad of a match, but at the same time, I'm like, I skimmed. I was even reluctant to even watch that Impact, because I remember, for those of you that remember, I kept saying that when 2016 rolls around, I will get back to watching Impact. And after that first show, where Khan went with the Dollhouse, and their first show on Pop, and EC3 got the belt back, and just from what I saw, I'm like, oh, that didn't really refuel my interest into TNA. And then the second I didn't even watch the second show. And so then when I recorded the third show, the show that I'm talking about now, after I watched NXT, I was reluctant to even watch that Impact, even press play. And I just skimmed through it. And I saw, and with that, I think it's safe to say that, yeah, my interest with TNA has really waned. It really has. And this is coming from somebody that has. I remember I told my friend Nate, about it. He was like, this is coming from a guy who defended TNA. I'm not saying I was the biggest defender of TNA, but I guess what he meant was that even when TNA did bad things, and most time TNA is bad, is really bad, I still saw some good in things. Still saw good in things with TNA. Case in point, TNA 2010, which I believe is probably one of their worst years, Booker wise or storyline wise. Okay, that was the first year of Hogan and Bischoff. Even with the bad things that took place during that calendar year, there were still some good things that took place also. Um, you had, for instance, the Beer Money Motor City Machine Gun Tag Teams Championship Series. That was awesome. The whole effing show where it's funny I said because that's where the series ended. But even that show, which was supposed to be dedicated to nothing but the in-ring action, and Tina actually followed through with that, was a good show. I remember when I did my thoughts on SummerSlam 2010, I actually praised TNA for that show. A lot of others praised TNA for the whole effing show. That event in 2010. But so yeah, even with the bad thing in TNA, I would still find some good, things that I can look back on with TNA. And I've always said so. As I always said about TNA 2012, that's probably one of my favorite years in TNA because it felt like um, it felt like all the pieces were in place. It felt like all the gears were running. Everything was rolling. Like everything felt like sensible with TNA in 2012, and I think that's when Bruce Pritchard became part of the creative staff. Everything felt pretty good with TNA. The option C with Austin Aries, the full on push of Austin Aries, the Bobby Roode's reign. Um, you know, even the only like um the only like negative takeaways from TNA 2012 would probably be the Clara Lynch storyline, with AJ Styles, Daniels, and Kazarian, Dixie Carter, and that Clara Lynch girl, and Aces and Eights. Those are probably the only negative takeaways that I could think of from TNA 2012. So yeah, I've been through the good and bad with TNA, but lately, I've been saying to people, ever since they went Destination America, I felt like the product, and this is just me, this is me, this is just my opinion from my observation. Seems like sometimes the matches, they're like slowing away as if I don't know if it's like um like they're doing everything on the fly, or just some things come across clunky. And it's pretty sad that my interest with TNA has waned to almost like an all-time low, the one where I'm not even considering watching TNA because there are some good people in TNA. It's not like there's not. There's not good people there. I like the Wolves. I like the Wolves. I like Bobby Roode, and now that James Storm is back, I like James Storm. But I like the Hardys. I like Tigre Uno. I like Gail Kim. I like Kong, but and of course I like Kurt Angle and Bobby Lashley. But lately though, the first show I watched and they came back to pop, and even skimming through the double turn episode, it hasn't really refueled my, like I said again, refueled said before, refueled my interest. Some decisions I'm like scratching my head at, like even though the Matt Hardy heel turn is because like okay, Tyrus turns on EC3 and sides with Matt, but he's in the same spot he was in when he was with EC3. So why did he turn on EC3 in the first place? What could Matt offer that EC3 couldn't? When EC3 is supposed to be, this silver spoon character. And Matt was always, I'm the common man, but now someone say he's a multi-millionaire. Um, so yeah, it's kind of so yeah, it's pretty sad that I don't think that I'll be following through with my word when I say yeah, I'll come back to watch TNA 2016. And if I hear something good, then yeah, I'll probably check it out, see for myself. But as of right now, yeah, I don't see myself regularly watching Impact Wrestling for 2016, unfortunately. Something that I did watch, and basically is one of like the main topics of this corner, was Royal Rumble 2016. I'm really not gonna do like a full on review like normally. You're used to with the corner, like a full on review because it's now been. Well, no, now that it's been like a couple of days. Been a couple of days past Royal Rumble. The thing is, let's just give my general thoughts. Like a quick run through. Royal Rumble 2016. It emanated from Orlando, Florida. Still believe it's called the Amway Arena. The home of the Orlando Magic. Um, Nice fact was that two of my friends, I'll give a shout out to my friend, Craig Simon and his wife Taylor Simon. They were actually there at Royal Rumble 2016. So they got to see, uh, AJ Styles WWE debut. Um, they got to see the last man standing match with Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose. And good thing I say that because that's a perfect segue into that match because that was the first match of the night. I enjoyed, the last man standing match between Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose. I predicted it to steal the show, and I think it did. I'm not so sure if it did like how um, TLC's opening match did, where it sold the show to the point where nobody could even come close to getting the crowd back into because they were still so worn out from the awesomeness of the TLC. I mean, of the ladder match with for the tag team championship. But uh, yeah, overall, yeah, I enjoyed the last man standing match. Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose, they didn't pull any punches. Um, and and like I said, I think I said it before. I'm just excited. I was just happy that the Intercontinental Championship was contested in a match of this proportion, because you could have did Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens in a no disqualification atmosphere, and it would not be, and it could not, and and the title would not be on the line. You could have did it without a title being on the line. You could have just had it be like a blood feud between them, you know. But at the Intercontinental Championship, that was the key focus of the feud. That's what caused Owens to to become all desperate and all full on like ruthless, was because he lost his championship to Ambrose. So it was great to see the Intercontinental Championship be contested in a match of that proportion. And the ending, with I first thing when they did the set up the two tables, I'm thinking, okay, but we're gonna see a superplex through the two. I'm like, okay, how are they gonna work the two stacked tables up in the match? And he came with Dean Ambrose pushing Owens, and Owens front flipping through the two tables, and Ambrose got the win. So great opener, and I wasn't surprised that this match opened up the card. I remember when in the group chat we was all watching, and Nate was like, "Wait, this match is first." I was thinking, I'm not too surprised. I was not surprised for two reasons. First off, I was not surprised because it's like, okay, maybe everybody want to start for something hot. And it was not the first time my last man standing match opened up Royal Rumble. If you remember, at Rumble 2013, Del Rio and Big Show for the World Heavyweight Championship opened up um, the pay per view in the Last Man Standing match. But then I was also thinking, if they did the match before the Rumble match, then you have to ask, okay, are Ambrose and Owens in any condition to even compete in the Rumble match? Because like they're still in the Rumble match. So it's like you might as well have the match first. So whatever punishment they take, they will at least have roughly around an hour and 30 minutes to, prepare for the Rumble match. And because when they came out of the Rumble match, they still were hurt. They were still reeling from the punishment they gave each other. So I wasn't surprised at all that the match kicked off the show. Then the next match was the Tag Team Championship. The New Day defended their titles against the Usos, and we saw Francesca too. And this crowd was the crowd was pro New Day. I was watching the preview with my cousin. He was like, what now? The crowd don't like the Usos anymore? I was like, no, I don't think it's not. I was like, no, I don't think it's that. I think it's just this crowd is just pro New Day. I don't think it's anything personal against the Usos. It's just they're more sided with the New Day. The New Day, all charismatic and everything. And I was saying the Usos are not charismatic, but not to the degree of the New Day. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, most time in wrestling, when you got a heel or a face that's truly charismatic, 9 out of 10, the crowd's going to side with them more than their opponent, no matter who it is, unless that person matches the character, the charisma. And plus, it's the pay-per-view crowd. It's like the pay-per-view crowd is sometimes a little bit different than the average Raw or SmackDown crowd, or especially SmackDown crowd, because all the reactions on SmackDown are canned, meaning like they're not real. But I felt the match was very entertaining, very fast. Very fast. I don't think there wasn't that much of a slowdown point in that match. And the ending I really enjoyed. That's when it really got fast and furious. And I actually thought the Usos were going to win the tag team title. I think on 2 occasions, especially the ending when it looked like, okay, here come the Usos plus, but then Big E slid in the ring and then caught I forget which Uso it was, caught them in midair and hit the big ending. And I agree with my cousin. As awesome as that ending was, I think it would have been even more awesome if Big E just dropped with it, because he caught the Uso and then took a couple of seconds and then did the big ending. I agree with my cousin. I think it would have been even more cool if he just dropped and 1, 2, 3. But anyway, the New Day retained their belts. And I just gotta say that as much as I like the Usos, and as much as I've been liking the Usos and New Day matches, somewhere down the line, if the Usos are not going to take the belts off of the New Day, somewhere down the line, new face tag team has to come into the picture soon, because you just can't, or you can, but I don't think it really behooves to just keep doing the Usos and the New Day, especially when during the build-up, they're most of them going against each other, even in the build-up, whether it's a 6-man tag or a singles match. So it's like the crowd's already been seeing a lot of New Day and Uso interactions in the ring. So I just feel hopefully a new face team, if the Usos are not going to take the belts off of the New Day, come into the fray. And if it's not the Dudleys, because I'm not so sure what WWE is doing with the Dudleys now. Because it looks like they're no longer just getting whooped by the Wyatts. Then the next match was Del Rio versus Kalisto, a match I was looking forward to solely for the reason because I did not feel that Kalisto lost his belt lost it right back to Del Rio, and I'm like, hey, you guys gonna do this match again for the belt? Kalisto better. I think he better get the belt back, and I think me and Nate talked about it. I don't think it was the better match that one of their better matches so far that we've seen of them. But it was just good to see Kalisto get the belt back. He should never lost in the first place, in my opinion. Because like if he got the belt right back, I don't see what was the point in taking the belt off him a day later after he won it. Because remember, people, SmackDown. If you don't know, SmackDown is taped on Tuesdays. So when he won it on Raw, he lost the next night. So he only had it for a day. So it's like, what was the point? But yeah, it's good to see that once again. It's good to see a Kalisto, United States champion for a second time already. Even though for me, I don't count it as a second reign. I don't even consider him a two-time United States champion. For me, I just count that as a. You probably heard this phrase before from me. I count it as a title reign interruption. I think I think if you win your belt or you're holding your belt and you lose it, but then you get it right back probably a day or if not a week after, I think it's just an interruption. It's not like you really lost. I don't feel like you really lost. It's like your belt was just like put in idle mode for those number of days, and then just right back to being active. That's what I consider, situations like with Kalisto and Del Rio. Then the next match was for the Divas, or should be the women championship match with Charlotte and Becky Lynch. And one thing that stood out for me with this match was, I guess all of the opportunities that WWE had, gave Becky to get over during this buildup had paid off. During the buildup, anytime Becky got mic'd up, I felt that she followed through. I mean, she came through. She delivered. I'm not saying she delivered, although those are the greatest promos of the year. But no, I'm not saying that. But she delivered with the purpose of the whole feud. She's coming across. Yeah, she's hurt that she lost her friend, over the belt. Even though they said that they made a promise that they would never do that. And when she was supposed to come across angry or come across distraught, she did over the fact that Charlotte now turned on her. And then when and she basically cut into Flair, Rick, and she delivered there. So I think like all of that put together, all those opportunities, Becky made the most of them, and I think that had to do. Probably feels that's what had to do with the fans actually chanting her name in that match, and not just little, let's go Becky, let's go Becky. No, chanting, chanting loud, chanting her name. I mean, it wasn't even like, let's go Becky, let's go Charlotte. No, I think that crowd was like pro Becky. And I think if it's not because the opportunity they gave Becky and Becky made the most, got her over, it could have been the crowd probably felt that, what, after two matches getting screwed, this is probably Becky's chance of winning the belt. And unfortunately, she did not win the belt. Charlotte retained with a spear, which which I was kind of surprised. I thought that was going to be like a near fall because I don't think because I think that was like the first time Charlotte's ever beaten somebody with her spear. Most of her spear is just one of her top signature moves. And on that Flair, even before that, go kiss Becky. I'm like, look at this guy. And then he threw his jacket, on Becky when Becky had the disarmor. And I have to agree with my brother Chris, when he said that, Becky should have kept the disarmor on when she got the jacket thrown over her face. Because like it's just a jacket over her face, you can still keep it on and just basically look at Rick and say, I'm still gonna, probably gonna break your daughter's arm and win the belt. But and then after the match, Charlotte started putting the boots in, and actually not really the boots, but started slamming Becky's face into the mat. And then lo and behold, Sasha Banks returns. Good thing. It was good to see that her injury wasn't too severe, and that crowd, exploded for Sasha once again, showing that she's probably the most over uh, female, and not just even female, but personality, on the roster. Um, it's almost like she, in terms of like the female division, she has filled that void of, in terms of pops, of AJ. When AJ came out, she got a great reception. That's how it is with Sasha Banks, it seems. And I think she's earned that. All her hard work has paid off, and the fans, acknowledge it. And at first, it looked, she kicked Becky out. Looked like, okay, paying homage to back when they were, stable mates back in NXT. But Sasha showed her true colors, hit the bank statement, and started bending Charlotte almost like an accordion, and made her statement that she wants the belt. But I agree with. But even then you saw last night that then the night after that Charlotte got her retribution. But at first, I agree with her because that hopefully it wasn't like, okay, this you just quickly just kick Becky out of the picture. I think you could at least do a triple threat match, and it looks like that's what's going to happen at Fastlane. But I think eventually at WrestleMania is going to be Sasha and Charlotte, something that I know for sure me and Nate and I've seen a couple of others predicted that it was going to be Sasha versus Charlotte at WrestleMania in some form. I think that's what's going to happen. Then we get to the Rumble match. The Rumble match, Rumble 2016, wasn't filled with that many surprises, as we come used to with the Rumble, like surprise returns, but the two surprises had to be first entrant number 3, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Yeah, man, it was after hearing all the rumors, after all the rumors circulated, we got the truth. No, wait a minute. The rumors were not if he was signed by the WWE. That wasn't the rumor. We basically got the confirmation that he was signed by the WWE when his last New Japan match, and B, when WWE.com even announced it. But the rumor was he going to debut in the Rumble? What was uncertain was when was he going to debut in WWE, whether it be NXT or on the main roster. But yeah, Royal Rumble entry number 3, AJ debuted, and first his music color. And what I liked about AJ's debut was that when after the ringer went off, the music came on, but they stayed on Roman. They stayed on Reigns, and they just let the I feel they just let the crowd, tell the story. Okay, it was still on Reigns, but then when you heard the crowd light up, get fired up, you knew it was somebody. You knew it was somebody that was either a return or a debut. And when they cut and you see the phenomenal one, you're like, oh, it's that boy AJ. And AJ, he had a good performance, even though he didn't win. It's not like I was expecting him to win the Rumble, but it's like, it's good to see that, he made it. He was somebody that anytime we talk about who would you like to see from TNA come over to WWE, AJ Styles was probably the first person I always said. And, it's good to see that he finally made it. And it wasn't like when he came out, he did it, and he was doing his moves. It wasn't like, oh, we don't know anything about AJ Styles. When he tried to go for the Styles Clash, Michael immediately said he's going for the Styles Clash. And I like that. Then the other surprise was, even though to me it wasn't really a surprise because something that me and Nate and of course you guys know Blue Goblin, we did that yet. Sami Zayn will be in the Rumble, and he did come in the Rumble, and he eliminated Kevin Owens. Got some retribution, and it was pretty interesting. It was after, I think it was like right after Owens eliminated AJ Styles, and I'm still not sure if that, because after he eliminated AJ Styles, Owens mocked the Styles pose, so I wasn't so sure if is that a sign that we might see something between them at WrestleMania or something. But yeah, those like the only two like surprise entrants, even though, I felt AJ one was more a surprise for me. Cause it was just like, okay, is he really at the Rumble or will he not be at the Rumble? Will he be on the main roster or will he be on NXT? But we now know that no, AJ Styles on the main roster. It's been confirmed by the night after when he beat Jericho, and then on SmackDown, which I did not watch, but Chris told me that he was on SmackDown, he beat Curtis Axel, and he finally hit the Styles Clash. But then there was a point when the Rumble match itself, I think it was okay, but I think there was a long period of where it was just, it's kind of like flatline, kind of like stagnant. I think it kind of picked back up once Brock came into the fold. Because, and what I figured and what I kind of did not want was, I think round entrant 15, that's when Roman Reigns, got taken out by the League of Nations. And it's something that I just predicted was going to happen. But it's something that I really didn't want to happen. I know they were going to try to tell the story, the McMahon's, stacking the deck against Roman. But the reason why I did not want it, because it's like, okay, last year, a lot fans and even Stone Cold Steve Austin got on Roman Reigns basically for not really doing that much in the Rumble, or basically the way that they booked the Royal Rumble basically put him in a position where he basically did nothing, or like also he just took a nap. And instead of, I guess, rectifying that, WWE really kind of reinforced it, because at that point it was number 15. So so that was like the halfway point. And from there, Roman Reigns was taken out. And he did not come back in until hold on. Okay. He did not come back in until number 28. Um, number 28 um when Sheamus came out. Um, wait, okay. Let me see. The most time on a weekly, they have they have like the time. Okay. So even according to the time, it says Roman Reigns was in the Rumble for 59 minutes and 50 seconds. But in all actuality, he really wasn't. It was like, okay, he's still part of the match, but he's not really in the match. Okay, if Sheamus was there until like 8 minutes, so okay, trying to see if they have it. But so yeah, he only was like um he was only like in it for like I don't even think like half of that 59 or even close to that 59 um minutes. So it's like they say he almost went an hour, but he really didn't. And it's like, okay. But when he came back, because Jericho, that was my friend Nate was like, Jericho was 42 years old and almost went half hour. They said Jericho went like 51 minutes or so. The Roman Reigns only went in the Rumble like for like 10 minutes or something. It's pretty telling. But when he came back, I think that's also other when the match when the Rumble picked up. And then when number 30 came out, which was Triple H, which was not a surprise to me. I've said Triple H is going to be in this match one way or the other. He's going to have a role in this match one way. Either he's going to come back and not be a participant and eliminate Roman, or just have something to do with Roman's elimination, or yeah, he's going to be in the Rumble match and eliminate Roman, or Roman was going to win the Rumble, but then Vince McMahon was going to come out and say, "Oh, there's one more match," and then Triple H comes out and beats Roman for the belt. But he was a participant in the Rumble, number 30. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And what was interesting is that the crowd was pro Triple H. I don't know because it was Reigns, but one thing I found interesting, and yesterday watched a YouTube video. It was like basically a little piece from I guess a podcast that was talking about World 2016, and it's true. One that was interesting about Triple H eliminating Roman Reigns, it didn't even come across as a heel move. Like, oh yeah, it was get heat on Triple H. No, it was a straight up clean elimination. He came from behind, but there's nothing illegal about in the Roman coming from behind somebody and throwing somebody over the top rope. But he basically eliminated Roman Reigns clean. It wasn't like, by some shady means. So it's like, well, I'm not so sure if that really puts heat on Triple H. It's like it kind of makes him come across as a face a little, not a face, but doesn't really make me sympathize for Reigns that he got screwed because he did it. And it wasn't like he was banged up because when he came back, it was like he was recharged. So, and it was almost like, he's been out for this long, so he's kind of been, freshened up. And then it came down to Dean and Triple H, and Triple H eliminated Dean, even though it looked like Dean was going to win, which would have been pretty interesting. And I do agree with also in that same YouTube video they was talking about that when Triple H was crotch chopping, doing the crotch chop to Roman Reigns. Yeah, I almost seriously thought that you're just gonna see Dean come from and then throw Triple H over the top rope. But yeah, I think like one of the best sequence, the best part of the match in terms of like in reaction, yeah, was when it um came down to um Dolph Ziggler, Triple H, Sheamus, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Jericho, and Dean Ambrose. The final seven. That sequence was it got pretty chaotic. It was like, okay, whoa, this is just off the walls. And speaking of Bray Wyatt, you know, it's now you can tell it's not official that yeah they're building up Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar at Mania. It seems, and I'm about to go on, but I'm just gonna say that the Wyatt family eliminated Brock Lesnar. You know, one thing that my brother can't stand in Rumble matches when eliminated participants can come back in and eliminate a still active participant, and it still counts as an elimination. Um, and one thing that I found interesting when Brock Lesnar, I think a lot of people did, because when Brock Lesnar got eliminated, that was it. He just walked off. You know, he stood there, looked up a little bit, and then he walked off. I'm thinking, wait, Brock Lesnar is just walking away after getting basically kind of screwed. Especially, you know, he got eliminated by three guys that he eliminated already that should have just been out of the match, you know, entirely. And like, wow, he's not going to snap. He's not going to let his anger out on anybody. He's not even going to try to get back at Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was still in the ring. But that didn't happen. But you know, Triple H went on to win the Rumble and basically, and also win the WWE Championship. And my thoughts on Triple H being WWE, not too big a fan of it because, you know, he doesn't need the belt. And I don't think Reigns with Triple H needed to be for the belt. I think personally for me, I would have liked it if it was just Roman Reigns with Triple H, probably have Fastlane. But then again, it'd be like, okay, what are you going to do for Roman Reigns? He gets through Triple H at Fastlane. How's he going to defend his belt? Who's going to defend his belt against WrestleMania? Especially now where people are getting injured left and right, where there's no Cena, there's no Rollins, there's, you know, all these people are out. But you know, I thought that Triple H was, if he won the belt, he was just going to vacate the next night or so. But that's not the case. He's still holding on the belt, and he's basically going to have a free pass all the way till Mania because he's not going to defend. Look like he's not going to defend his belt against anybody at Fastlane because at Fastlane, the main event's going to be Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. The winner goes on to face Triple H in the main event of WrestleMania for the title. But also, it's funny if Reigns goes on to win Fastlane, how they gonna really get real heat on Triple H and make him look like a heel? Because so far, Triple H has not come across looking like a heel in this feud. If you think about it, at Survivor Series, when Roman Reigns speared him, Triple H didn't really do anything heelish to get speared. He came out and he wanted to say he's trying to kiss up and trying to shake his hand, but you know, he didn't really do any of that warranted getting speared. Then at TLC where you know Roman Reigns snapped and yeah, it was just fine when he was beating the hell out of the League of Nations. Yeah, they interfered. But when Triple H came out, all that Triple H was trying to do was just trying to cool down the situation, and he just got assaulted nonstop. You know, while it was kind of awesome to see Roman Reigns cut loose, but at the same time, it's like, well, if they're supposed to make Triple H still come across the heel, it kind of gives him, you know, makes whoever attack when he comes back and beats up or he attacks Roman justifiable. Okay, he just got assaulted, basically kind of unprovoked. You know, he didn't do anything to provoke Reigns and attack him. And then now with the Royal Rumble, yeah, it almost like Triple H came back and got revenge on Roman. It wasn't like, oh yeah, you know, a sneak elimination. No, he came back, he faced off against Roman, and he eliminated Roman clean. So if Roman does win at Fastlane, I would like to see how are they going to continue this route because so far Triple H kind of come across as the face in this whole feud. You know, the whole time Roman Reigns, he's come across as a face. Yeah, Roman's come on a face as with Vince and everything, but with the whole time with him and Triple H, it's like Is really Triple H really the heel? Is it not Triple H just getting revenge on Roman Reigns for Roman Reigns, brutally assaulting him at TLC as any other face would do? Uh, it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting dynamic. Um, I say so myself. Um, what else? But as far as AJ Styles and WWE, I touched on that earlier. Again, I'm happy for him. I think it is a telling, sign that you can make it. That anybody can make it in WWE. That's busted their ass as hard as AJ Styles have. I've seen AJ Styles. I've been seeing his TNA career, the start of his TNA career, to the end of his TNA career. And it's great. It's phenomenal. Yeah, I would go and say pun intended. It's phenomenal to see him in WWE. Now, I would like to believe that it's not just okay fanfare but nothing else happens with AJ Styles. I like to believe that WWE. I'm like to be optimistic. I'm a little bit. I do tend to be really, but I also try to be optimistic. So I would like to say that hopefully AJ Styles is in some um, is in some important feuds in this year, or is in the title picture somewhere down the line, whether it's IC, United States, or even WWE, the WWE Championship. But all in all, yeah, happy for AJ Styles. I'm happy for, um, you know, 'cause like I said, a couple of years ago, probably would say, yeah, fat changes have been happening. But ever since, with NXT and stuff, it's like, because if you came to NXT, it would have been like first game, okay, we've been seeing that's the trend. That's when they're making it. They're making it through NXT first. Owens, Joe, um, now Aries. Yes, Austin Aries is officially in WWE. But AJ's on the main roster. That's pretty big, pretty telling. And he's already got a win over Chris Jericho. So it's pretty cool, man. And as far as Brock-Bray goes, this is basically the final topic. Probably basically ending this edition of the corner. As far as Brock-Bray go, it's pretty interesting that they're going this route. But at the same time, it's like, okay, wow, this is an interesting dynamic and it could lead to probably interesting promos between Bray and Heyman. At the same time, it's like, story. Okay, no, I don't want to say storyline, but if you've been watching the whole product, it's like, can I really take Bray Wyatt as a threat to Brock Lesnar? And what I mean by that is, how many times have we seen this story before? Because the Wyatt family they've been like icy hot. The brand Icy Hot. They've been like icy hot. 1 minute they're all hot, and all of a sudden they're cold. They do something where they pose like a threat, and then when push comes to shove, when it comes to payoff, it's not because they lose, it's how they lose. Look at Survivor Series. They look like a bunch of scrubs. And even before that, and me and Chris was talking about it earlier. Sometimes WWE, gives away the payoff for free while they're still trying to build up the pay-per-view match. And that's how it was with the Wyatt versus the Brothers Destruction. On that Raw, when the Brothers Destruction beat that living hell out of the Wyatt family, while I was cheering, I was like, yeah. At the same after everything died down, was like, and I believe it was right on camera because I did the corner when I was finishing up the corner, that segment was airing. You guys can go back. I remember me saying, "Well, no, I don't think I need to see Survivor Series anymore. Though I don't think there's any point in Survivor Series because I've already seen the brother whip the Wyatt family's asses. I've already seen it, and that's been the case with Bray Wyatt. We've seen this story plenty of times before, and Bray Wyatt is an interesting character. You know, who you think there's you would think that um there's like a lot of material, or a lot of opportunity for his character, a lot of things to do with his character, a lot of ways to go. But most time his feud is the same way. He just bothers people. It's almost like, Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat X, why you're bothering me. In my opinion, my brother, we always felt that, right about his feud always starts saying just bother somebody. They come up with some fruiting reason for why he's bothering this person. And sometimes the reason is like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Like with Jericho. Going all the way back to 2007 when Jericho had his Save Us campaign. It's like that was 2007. But it's like since I've seen this story before, it's like I won't be surprised Bray Wyatt just looks like some kind of like some scrub against Brock. But this time on different that okay, this time Bray has brawn. But it seems like okay, they're gonna go through the gauntlet. It's like probably with the weeks in, Brock Lesnar have to go through every Wyatt family member, which is logical. Probably like the final person in his way is gonna be Braun. But as far as Bray versus Brock, it's interesting that they went with this, and I'm not sure if they went with it with all the things that have happened, with all the injuries, of Cena and Rollins. We don't even know what Sting's status, but that was the case all along. That's pretty interesting. And it's pretty interesting for Bray Wyatt that, for 3 WrestleManias, he's had a match with Cena, Taker, and now Lesnar. And probably call it spoiler, but my prediction, Bray Wyatt's about to be 0-3 at WrestleMania. I do not see Brock Lesnar losing to Bray Wyatt. I don't. And most of it has to do with because I've seen this story play out with Bray Wyatt too many times now. And not just too many times, but also too short of a time. And like it's happened too much, too fast. And it's not that much room in between. These stories playing the same story playing out with Bray Wyatt. And that's the very reason why I do not see him being Brock Lesnar. But and it's just like that's why I'm just gonna say that, like I said before, when Bray Wyatt, when they're pushing the Wyatt family, when they do the whole thing with the Dudleys, I'm like, well, you've done this before, and then sooner or later, all that momentum is gonna come to a screeching halt. There's always done with the Wyatt family or Bray Wyatt by himself. So almost like, why should I think that it's gonna be any different? Because even when they was building him up as a threat for Royal Rumble, I thought that okay, come Royal Rumble, Brock is gonna eliminate every single Wyatt family member, almost like that. And that is the position, and in my opinion, unfortunately, that's the position that WWE has put the Wyatt family in. That when it comes to the big time moments, the big time moments, the push comes to shove, the proving ground moments, Wyatt just look like a bunch of scrubs. But I do look forward to the promos between Bray Wyatt and Paul Heyman because I believe they're going to happen, and I think they're going to be pretty interesting. And You know, I think even though I predict Bray Wyatt to lose and Brock to win, I think I'm pretty interested to see how Bray and Brock in a match works out. I really am. Once again, I'm very optimistic. But you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this wrestling corner. This was episode 16 of season 5. Once again, probably check for the wrestling corner Tuesday next week. If not Tuesday, then probably Wednesday, and if not Wednesday, then probably Saturday, probably just like today. But anyway, this is Hope Night. They're always in the place to be. And until the next corner, stay easy and peace.